Hey guys, this is Brent Geidinger. Welcome to my country report. This is a video portion of my country report for my international business course for my MBA. So hope everyone's doing well out there. Special shout out to Richard, my professor. Please go easy on me, dude. This is my first time making a video for YouTube. So today I'm going to talk to you about Cuba. Specifically their tobacco industry, but basically just Cuba, how it is for a destination for foreign investors, its economic climate, its infrastructure. I'm going to go over a little bit of everything. But at the same time, cool thing I liked about this project is it coincided with a vacation I had to Veradero just a couple months ago with my girlfriend. We had an awesome time. The beaches were awesome. The people were great. Weather was fantastic, better than this minus 20 stuff in Edmonton. And one of the really cool things that happened while we were there, December 17th, 2014, will go down as a very historic day in the life of Cubans, because that was the day that American President Barack Obama announced that they had restored diplomatic and economic ties with Cuba. You know, it's been over 50 years now that the U.S. trade embargo has been in effect in Cuba, and it was just really moving to see the reaction of the staff members' faces and just their body language when they heard this historic news from on the TV from Cuban President Raul Castro. So that's sort of what I'm going to be doing here in this video. I'll give you just a brief snapshot of the Cuban sort of business environment, what the future might look like now that these relations with the U.S. have been restored. And best part, you'll get to check out some of my photos and videos from my vacation, so enjoy. So here we are. Like I was saying, I'm just going to talk over as these pictures are playing. So this is the beach in front of our resort, and this is probably what most of us Canadians associate Cuba with. These beautiful beaches, snorkeling. This is in the Bay of Pigs, just a beautiful area. There is our resort in Veradero. But the big thing that I focus on this project is these guys, the Cuban cigars, Cuban tobacco industry. And this has been a fairly significant part of not only Cuba's economy, but Cuba's culture. They're world-renowned. They're considered by many to be the best quality. So this is Amado. He was our tour guide in Havana, and he brought up a really interesting point that I did some digging on later in my research. And the question he brought up is, what is Cuba going to do if and when the embargo is lifted with the U.S. Regarding their tobacco supply? Right now, they're already unable to meet their international demand. Big reason for this is they take a long time to make. They're hand rolled. You're going to see a picture of a cigar roller right away here. They're hand rolled. They're not machine rolled. They take a long time, and the question is, which markets is Cuba going to have to drop in order to accommodate the huge demand that the Americans are going to place on their industry? So another one of Cuba's main agricultural drivers in the economy is sugarcane, and this gentleman is actually putting sugarcane through this compressor of some sort, and if you watch closely, you can actually see the sugar being drained into a bowl, and we actually drank this right after. So it's delicious. It's an interesting process. So with Cuba being a communist state, doing business in the country has been very difficult. In addition to the trade embargo, there's a lot of barriers to doing business in Cuba. The government interference is very high in the country. The government has a long history of expropriating foreign properties. Business processes take a long time, like as far as decision making. You always have to go through the government. It's just very anti-private enterprise, and because of that, very few businesses are able to be successful in Cuba. So you see all these beautiful pictures. That is the main draw to Cuba, and has been for the last number of years, is their tourism industry. But The good news at the end of the day for Cuba is that Raul Castro, who's been their president now since 2008, has realized that the way things are going in the country cannot continue. He has slowly begun to implement some economic reforms, try to improve its infrastructure within the island. They're doing a lot of construction projects for their ports as well as their rail lines. So obviously, Cuba really needs to boost their attraction to foreign investors, and one of the big ways that they're working on that right now is putting significant investments into their telecommunications sector. Right now, Cuba has some of the lowest internet and mobile phone penetration rates, not just in the Caribbean, but worldwide. So restoring an economic relationship with the US is a huge step for Cuba for improving its chances to revitalize its economy on a world stage. While it will likely mean a hike in the price of my next all-inclusive vacation there, it will hopefully mean a better quality of life for its citizens and attract more foreign direct investment to the country that desperately needs it. So just to wrap this up, Cuba has a long way to go before they're fully integrated back into the global economy. With a communist government still in power, it's introduces many barriers to attracting foreign investment, not only now but in the future. For Cuban cigars and the Cuban tobacco industry in general, the big challenge for them will be finding ways to increase their supply without sacrificing quality, which they're known for worldwide. That'll be the big task for them. But at the end of the day, the future of the Cuban business environment does look much more promising in light of the improvements the government has been making to its transportation and telecommunication infrastructure. It's not state of the art, but it's an improvement and progress is good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll send you off with a couple more photos of my vacation. Take care.